Hi there, this is Flexen and welcome to the latest edition of SecondsOut ReFLEXions. We're here every Monday, 4:30 PM, usually to talk about the boxing action of the weekend just gone, but there hasn't been, of course, any boxing action for a little while, and there probably won't be for a while into the future. We got an email earlier today, I'm sure a lot of people received it, from the British Boxing Board of Control stating that the suspension on boxing tournaments under their jurisdiction in the UK has been extended to the end of April at least. And then they'll review the situation then. No great surprise, given the recent stringent measures introduced by the government and calls for even more stringent measures to come. Very hard at the moment for people to even get around and do their daily chores without coming into contact with the COVID-19 virus, let alone putting on large-scale events involving groups of people in close proximity. So the board have absolutely made the right decision, but it's tough. It's tough on the boxers out there who have got to tick over now. Some of them have already had their fights rescheduled. For example, Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce, that was set for April the 11th, has already been set back in the diary for July the 11th, which is great. Some of the others will just have to wait and see, especially pay-per-view events and so on, TV dates. They'll have to be slotted in at different times, and we can only hope that a lot of the fights we're looking forward to get rescheduled. I particularly was looking forward to Josh Kelly and David Avanesian for the European title. It's already been cancelled once already, of course, when Kelly fell ill on the week of their fight back in December 2018. And they were due to headline a show at the O2 in March, at the end of March, which has obviously not happened now. But we hope that that gets rescheduled because it's a fight I really want to see the first time around, and certainly with everything that's happened in between. The form that Avanesian has shown in winning and defending the European title, and I'd really like to see that rearranged fight actually come to fruition at some point this year. Seeing a lot of the boxers on social media still training, obviously in isolation, inside, outside, doing their own thing, and even offering some tips to people out there how they can kind of keep fit and keep the mind interested as well during this virtual shutdown of society. It is very difficult, I think, from a mental perspective as much as anything else to, stay motivated, especially when there's no real reason to get up in the mornings now for a lot of people with, not being able to go to work. And there's no real structure to the days and weeks anymore, which makes things challenging to say the least. So yeah, credit to all the boxers out there who have been kind of offering their tips and sharing their enthusiasm over social media. Social media? God, it's getting to me already. Maybe that's the first sign. We saw Terry Harper this morning training in what looked like her back garden, washing hanging on the line. So it certainly hasn't forgotten her roots. And that was good to see. And there's been some others as well. Craig Richards put out his own routine, training at home, things you can do. So it's all very good. And we just hope this doesn't last for too long, not just for boxing, but for the world at large, of course. It's much, much bigger than just the sport. From our perspective here at Seconds Out, it's obviously a huge challenge to keep creating and providing content, especially of the fresh variety. Gyms are closed, social distancing's enforced. We can't go and interview boxers like we normally would. We have been interviewing boxers over the phone. Hopefully you've listened to my interview with Sugar Hill Stewart, which came out last week. There'll be one tonight as well with Scott Quigg, talking about his retirement, his last fight against John O'Carroll, evaluating his career as a whole. It's quite long, that one, and I know it's not as easy to stay engaged when you haven't got moving images and the person actually talking on a video, and we are trying to do more Skype calls to kind of get around that to an extent, although a lot of boxers don't seem to have Skype, which is interesting. But there's other apps, of course, as well. We're keep endeavouring to produce fresh content. We're also recycling and repurposing some older content as well, stuff you may not have seen, or putting it into different contexts, which should be interesting. Some of the head-to-head stuff we've done, like Dubois, Joyce, Fury, Joshua, Khan Brook most recently. So I hope you're enjoying that. And we're just going to do our best to keep you entertained. We're not going to make out like it's complete altruism on our part. We've still got to keep the business ticking over. We've all got our own money to earn, so it's not just about helping them. But obviously there is that side of it. We know people are stuck at home. We know people are missing boxing, and live boxing particularly, and we'll do our best to kind of mitigate that difficulty if we can. But yeah, we're all doing our best, and hopefully, I keep saying hopefully because it's all we've got really at the moment is hope and kind of our own self-discipline. this doesn't last too much longer. You know, we will, I don't want to sound like Boris Johnson, you know, we will get through it. But we will eventually, and in the meantime, we've just got to live as close to a normal life within the safety parameters as we can. So yeah, boxing in the UK, not until May at the earliest, and going into the US probably around the same time frame, I would imagine, and everyone will keep an eye on how things develop, and you know, the show will be back on the road as it will for all sports as soon as it can be. What I'd like to know from you guys is A, how you're keeping fit and busy during the shutdown, what sort of things are you getting up to? And B, which of the fights that were scheduled for this period that are now either postponed or cancelled were you most looking forward to? So which one are you missing the most and why? Let me know what you think and I'll respond to some of your comments. I'll be back here on Thursday for ReFLEXions. No idea what it's going to be about, but I'm sure I'll work it out by then, 4:30 p.m. And next week, Monday, for ReFLEXions, 4:30 p.m. as well. Really appreciate your time, probably now more than ever, because it gives me something to do and prevents me going completely crazy and tipping me over the edge. So I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.